we're going to continue on with Wonder. Our next two chapters are called Padawan. And then we're going to go right on into the next chapter entitled Wake Me Up When September Ends. That night, I cut off the little braid on the back of my head. Dad noticed first. "Oh, good," he said. "I never liked that thing." Via couldn't believe I had cut it off. That took years to grow," she said, almost like she was angry. "Why did you cut it off?" "I don't know," I answered. "Did someone make fun of it?" "No." "Did you tell Christopher you were cutting it off?" "We're not even friends anymore." "That's not true," she said. "I can't believe you would just cut it off like that," she added snottily, and then practically slammed my bedroom door shut as she left the room. I was snuggling with Daisy on my bed when Dad came to tuck me in later. He scooched Daisy over gently and lay down next to me on the blanket. "So, Augie Doggie," he said, "it was really an okay day?" He got that from an old cartoon about a dash hound named Augie Doggie, by the way. He had bought it for me on eBay when I was about 4, and we watched it a lot for a while, especially in the hospital. He would call me Augie Doggie, and I would call him dear old Dad, like the puppy called the dash hound Dad on this show. "Yeah, it was totally okay," I said, nodding. "You've been so quiet all night long." "I guess I'm tired. It was a long day, huh?" I nodded. "But it was really okay." I nodded again. He didn't say anything, so after a few seconds I said, "It was better than okay, actually." "That's great to hear, Augie," he said, quietly kissing my forehead. "So it looks like it was a good call Mom made. You're going to school." "Yeah, but if I could stop going if I wanted to, right?" "I could stop going if I wanted to, right?" That was the deal, yes, he answered, "though I guess it would depend on why you wanted to stop going, too, you know. You'll have to let us know. You'll have to talk to us and tell us how you're feeling and if anything bad was happening, okay?" "You promised to tell us." "Yeah." "So, can I ask you something? Are you mad at Mom or something? You've been kind of huffy with her all night long." "You know, Augie, I'm as much to blame for sending you to school as she is." "No, she's more to blame. It was her idea." Mom knocked on the door just then and peeked her head in my room. "Just wanted to say goodnight," she said. She looked kind of shy for a second. "Hi, Mama," Dad said, picking up my hand and waving it at her. "I heard you cut off your braid," Mom said to me, sitting down at the edge of bed next to Daisy. "It's not a big deal," I answered quickly. "I didn't say it was," said Mom. "Why don't you put Augie to bed tonight?" Dad said to Mom, getting up. "I've got some work to do anyway." "Good night, my son, my son." That was another part of Augie Doggie routine, though I wasn't in the mood to say, "Good night, dear old Dad." "I'm so proud of you," said Dad, and he got up out of the bed. Mom and Dad had always taken turns putting me to bed. I know it was a little babyish of me to still need them to do that, but that's just how it was with us. "Will you check on Via?" Mom said to Dad as she lay down next to me. He stopped by the door and turned around. "What's wrong with Via?" "Nothing," said Mom, shrugging. "At least that she would tell me, but, first day of school and all that." Said Dad, and then he pointed his finger at me and winked. "It's always something with you kids, isn't it?" he said. "Never a dull moment," said Mom. "Never a dull moment," Dad repeated. "Good night, guys." As soon as he closed the door, Mom pulled out the book she'd been reading to me for the last couple of weeks. I was relieved because I really was afraid she'd want to talk, and I just didn't feel like doing that. But Mom didn't seem to want to talk either. She just flipped through the pages until we got to where we had left off. We were about halfway through The Hobbit. "Stop, stop," shouted Thorin, said Mom, reading aloud. But it was too late. The exited dwarfs had wasted their last arrows, and now the bows that Bern had been given were useless. They were a gloomy party last night, and the gloom gathered still deeper on them in the following days. They had crossed the enchanted stream, but beyond the path seemed strange to straggle on as before, and in the forest they could see no change. I'm not sure why, but all of a sudden I started to cry. Mom put the book down and wrapped her arms around me. She didn't seem surprised that I was crying. "It's okay," she said. She whispered in my ear, "It'll be okay." "I'm sorry," I said between sniffles. "Shh," she said, wiping away my tears with the back of her hand. "You have nothing to be sorry about." "Why do I have to be so ugly, Mommy?" I whispered. "No, baby, you're not." "I know I am." She kissed me all over my face. She kissed my eyes that came down too far. She kissed my cheeks that looked punched in. She kissed my tortoise mouth. She said soft words that I know were meant to help me, but words can't change my face. I'm going on to Wake Me Up When September Ends. The rest of September was hard. I wasn't used to getting up so early in the morning. I wasn't used to this whole notion of homework. And I got my first quiz at the end of the month. I never got quizzes when Mom homeschooled me. I also didn't like how I had no free time anymore. Before, I was able to play whenever I wanted to, but now I felt like I always had stuff to do for school. And being at school was awful in the beginning. Every new class I had was like a new chance for kids to not stare at me. They would sneak peeks at me from behind their notebooks or when they thought I wasn't looking. They would take the longest way around me to avoid bumping into me in any way. Like I had some germs that they could catch, like my face was contagious. In the hallways, which were always crowded, my face would always surprise some unsuspecting kid who maybe hadn't heard about me. The kid would make the sound you make when you hold your breath before going on underwater. A little sound. This happened maybe 4 or 5 times a day for the first few weeks. On the stairs in front of the lockers, in the library, 500 kids in a school. Eventually, every one of them was going to see my face at some time. And I knew after the few couples of days that word had gotten around about me, because once in a while, I'd catch a kid elbowing his friends as they passed me, or talking behind their hands as I walked by them. I can only imagine what they were saying about me. Actually, I prefer not to try to imagine it. I'm not saying they were doing any of these things in a mean way. By the way, not once did any kid laugh or make noises or do anything like that. They were just dumb. They were just being normal, dumb kids. I know that. I kind of wanted to tell them that. Like, it's okay. I know I'm weird looking. Take a look. I don't bite. Hey, the truth is, if a Wookiee started going to school all of a sudden, I'd be curious. I'd probably stare a bit. And if I was walking with Jack or Summer, I'd probably whisper to them, "Hey, there's the Wookiee." And if the Wookiee caught me saying that, he'd know I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just pointing out the fact that he's a Wookiee. It took about 1 week for kids in my class to get used to my face. These were kids I'd see every day in all of my classes. It took about 2 weeks for the rest of the kids in my grade to get used to my face. Those were kids I'd see in the cafeteria, yard time, PE, music, library, or computer class. It took about a month for the rest of the kids in the entire school to get used to it. These were the kids in all the other grades. They were big kids, some of them. Some of them had crazy haircuts. Some of them had earrings in their noses. Some of them had pimples. None of them looked like me. Have a good day.